Okay, I'm very not happy with YouTube when they put YouTube is now full screen, exit full screen, which isn't really YouTube's fault, it's Firefox. So let's see how to get rid of it. Advanced preferences, type in about config, press enter, says proceed with caution, I just press enter again, type in full, and down here you've got full screen API.warning timeout. That you put -1. Warning delay, -1. Why -1? Because if you put 0, then it still exists. So -1 tells it that it's not to come up. And transition timeout to -1. And what that does is kills full screen. Even if you bring up the inspection area, it kills full screen. Anyway, that is how you get rid of the full screen API. I've installed adblock, and I've also got a program here that whitelists channels so that they don't lose their advertising. Very handy. That way you can use adblock and YouTube won't be pissed off. There you go, YouTube. Adblock without blocking your advertisements. My stupid recorder here is being a bastard half the time. The idea is we want to get rid of this text here because as far as I'm concerned it's annoying as hell. Luckily adblock has changed the way they're doing things and you can now block like that. Now we don't want to block that way, we want to block the actual title text, not the title or Chrome top. Chrome top will get rid of everything up there, including if somebody puts something up there for something else. So we'll go with this one here, like I said, because this is an actual a link. If you can check that out, and we just create. So there goes the tile, so you don't have to worry about that being in the way. Scroll for details, same, but we'll right click and right click again because otherwise you get stuck with this. So right click a second time on there, block element. We don't want the first one because that's only the text. We want the second one. Annoyances gone. Now, see this theater mode, full screen, mini player settings, etc. They take up the screen and there could be things there that you want to look at that's right in the corner or something. Now, I personally don't like the mini player, so now we wouldn't have much of a problem here if I had a fast machine. Please donate. See YT tooltip text, YT tooltip text, no title. Now, if I had a fast machine, I would have been able to show you how I found it and how I would have gone fast to get through this and that to go, well, this is YouTube bottom, this is text wrapper, this is image title, and then no title there. See how it says full screen? What does it say now? Theater. What does it say now? Mini player. Settings. Subtitles. Mute. And it won't say anything for that, I don't think, except for what the actual next title is, and there's no real point trying to block that. You can actually block that coming up, but play. Now what we're going to do is we're going to block it. Now if we block this specifically, that will block everything, which means all of this will be gone. Some people, they wouldn't mind doing that. Others, it's not what they're after. So I'm going to get together a list of all of them. I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm back again. As you can see, there's 7 of these up here that I'll put there because we want to do individually all of these different ones. Now, how can we specifically get rid of this without getting rid of everything? Because that's what adblocker does. It gets rid of this specific thing. But it changes all the time, doesn't it? So what do? Quite simple. There is a specific thing that is called contains. That will take any of these here, and if it contains something inside of the tag, and this is the tag here to there, that's what's inside the tag at the moment. That's what's in it when I hover over there. What we do is we put all of them in there and we add them to the app blocker, and that will block every single individual different tag compared to what it is. Hang on, I will demonstrate. Okay, I'm done here. Now, I suppose some of you might wonder, well, can I just put in a certain part of the word and have it still block? Well, yeah, you can. For example, play K. If it contains play, then it'll block. I will add all of these to the ad blocker, and I'll add play last just to show you guys. I'll add all of that before. After I pause this, I'll add all of them, and then I'll show you the play one as well, and then show you how all of them are blocked. And even though I only use play instead of play with the K there, and how it still blocks. Hang on. Oh, I appear to have come across a problem. Here's a problem. See how it says create? It has nothing to do, because when you put in the wrong thing, it comes up with, oh, you can't do anything. So, gotta hover over here to show full screen, and then it will show up as not working if I have it on something else like theater mode, I think. Theater, mini player, whatever. Yeah, theater mode. And same thing, see? Because it's on theater mode, it doesn't do it, so it won't let you create the actual thing. But if it says full screen, it will. The easiest way to get around this is if you've got it selected and you know it's right, instead of going and then going to the next one is to do what I've done here, which is write them all out, and you don't you don't need to actually enter them in slowly like that. You can just enter them in like this. My filters under the filter lists, and you see how it's got YouTube in there. Oh, I added an extra one, did I? Alright. Span tooltip contains full screen, apply changes. And now, see how it's, what the, it's still there, no! Yeah, anyway, hang on, we'll fix it in a minute. And by me saying we'll fix it in a minute, I'll restart YouTube in a minute to show you how that they are blocking. It's just that you got to reload the page. Oh yeah, and like I said, I'll show you with just play and not play K. As you can see here, I've just done block, YouTube, text, tips, and full screen, theater, mini player, text, subtitles, mute, and the play, which I've only put play and not play with the shortcut K in there to show you that you can put pretty much anything in there as long as it matches after the thing. It doesn't have to be the full thing that's inside of the tag. So we'll get rid of that, load Firefox back up, and we'll have a look. Oh, still there, isn't that annoying? Perhaps I screwed something up. Oh, no I didn't. Oh, well, there you go. It's just that ad blockers can be a little bit touchy when it comes to things that are being modified on the fly, like what YouTube's doing with its tags. And until you restart the actual browser or ad block, then it doesn't block it properly. You can see how it was there, but then it wasn't there. Anyway, I don't like mini player, so I'll get rid of that. Block element, mini player button. YouTube mini player button. That's where we've gotten rid of the YouTube title and YouTube full screen scroll down to view. Okay, so there we go. We've got this down to a minimum. I don't know about the ads, so I could play this entire thing and then put it in fast forward so that you can see that the ads are still there from the allow ad part there, but what's the point? That's getting rid of all of the different Hey, back again. Isn't that great? I tell you, these things just don't seem to work sometimes. See, gone again. Back again, gone again. Yeah. See, nothing ever works when you want it to work, I tell you. So the easiest way to fix that is to just generically block the whole thing. See, all gone. It's just very annoying to do individual things. It can be done, but a lot of the time things come up bad and they come back. Right? See that? See how it's gone? Because, yeah, individual blocking sometimes doesn't work when it comes to dynamic stuff like that. It's a lot easier to block everything based on what I've just done there, but go a bit further up in the chain. So if said thing exists there for the full screen, it could block a couple of things above that, the tooltips actual container. So if the tooltips container contains that full screen, it will block the tooltips container instead of just blocking based on the direct one. That makes it a lot more reliable. That's why blocking the actual tooltip container, wherever I got him here, just blocking the actual tooltip container here is a lot more efficient than blocking it with the contains because it changes all the time. And so YouTube can half bypass it, but if you can use this and one beforehand to block it with that, it's a lot more efficient. So span, tooltip, blah 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 blah, and you can tell it if this has that, then block. If this has that, then block. It takes a while for it to go through the has, and then if you've selected something and it's not blocking properly, it will be a lot more efficient because the Ublock has to actually go through the has to then see if something's there, and because of it being a lot faster like that, sometimes it's a little bit dodgy to block individual ones. But I really don't see the point of having something in the way that you already know it exists, so that's that one. Click here for a free trial for Epidemic. No, that's not it. Ha. It's the it's the games part here. Minecraft gaming and game browsing. It's just, meh. So cheesy to put something there that's just in the way of you seeing the comments. It's in the way of this, that, and everything else. So we'll block it. There we go. That's quite easy. Secondary information renderer scope sticky. Now, you may want to put in contains gaming. Now, this whole thing doesn't contain gaming, but you see how it says it's able to be selected. Why is that? Because the full thing here, when it comes up, like I said, if anyone wants to donate to help me out, to get a better machine, that would be quite handy. Come on! Now, this here is YT formatted string, and that is A class, simple point, blah, 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 blah. And there is content, and then the title, and then you come up from there and you got the renderer, then the collapsible, always shown, which means that it comes up no matter what. Great, isn't it? And then you got the row container. Now, the thing here is what we've got here is based on secondary info, renderer, blah, 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 all the way down here. Now, that's fine. And I've just said contains gaming, which means that anything down here contains gaming, then it will block it. But what if there's something in here that contains gaming that isn't related to the category gaming? Now we can put category gaming, I think. It depends on... No, we can't. Categories in a different area. Content metadata. Is it? No. Title metadata. Yep. we can block based on this and this together, as well as this and further up and further up and further up. That's the good thing about adblocker. You can specifically say I want this and this to be enabled to block the entire thing. And I might as well show you how to do that. And I'll go through how I've done the actual thing. See, I've got contains gaming there. That'll block the entire thing there containing gaming, because it's got that there and it contains gaming inside of it. So I'll pause and I will show you the way to block this, being more specific than what I've got here, so that if you need to block something that's got gaming inside of it like that, but doesn't have gaming there for category, and it blocks it because it's not even what you want it to do, and you wouldn't know that it was blocked. Hang on. Right, I so wish my computer was way quicker. This is the row we're selecting, YouTube metadata row container renderer. And we've got a double dot or colon or whatever has, and then we have a bracket here and a bracket here. And inside that bracket we have div collapse, which is div collapsible, which is here. We don't want to select this one because nothing in here is what we're after. This is all changing, so we don't want that. We want collapsible. And inside of collapsible, we want a YouTube metadata row renderer, because that's inside of there, and what we're after here is inside of that. So we've got metadata row renderer, and then we have a double dot contains category. So it's selecting that. And because we can't select these tags one after each other, because it's treating it like it's inside of that, we do contains gaming. There is another way that you can select both of these. We've got the category and gaming selected specifically based on that particular one there, and it has to have collapsible metadata, and it has to contain category and gaming. Anything else that we come across that doesn't have gaming in there, that has this metadata row container in there, will not block. So there we go. It looks basically like normal, doesn't it? And we've started to get rid of all this. Inspect the element of recommended for you. The easiest way, instead of doing that, is to actually select it via the blocker. Recommended for you has that in there. So we'll cut that, get rid of that, paste that, and contains recommended for you, cut, and we're after the following. We're not after dismissible, we're after the compact renderer here, and has div dismissible, and that should block everything. Yep. And we want to include there, and that will block recommended for you things on the right hand side. Right there, quite easy as pie. That being said, that is how you block recommended videos. I've got it, I know what we can get rid of. If you don't like playlists, let's figure out how we can get rid of our playlists. I'm going to come up with the actual filter to put into Ublock, and I'll tell you how I came at that. I can specifically block playlists based on radio render, because everything underneath here doesn't have radio render. There's also an autoplay render. Most of them have video renderers. It's best to specifically go radio render and block a bit further on based on a specific thing that's unique to playlists, which I will bring up as I have done the filter. Okay, I'm going to be a little bit lazy here. I'm not going to do specifically inside and do the selector I was going to do, because it's just, I have to choose between the thumbnail selector and the text selector, and they're both basically the same, so I'm going to do a generic thing on top of it. Hang on. Okay, so you've seen the contains. compact renderer, blah blah blah, has that. That's better. Ah, there we go. Yeah, basically what I done there was I changed it and add a has in there because I wanted to block that particular selector that had all of that. And that particular selector was a radio one. So I just searched for music, and of course you got music here. There's playlists, and very similar to the way I said before, you can block the playlists in here for music or anything based on the way I told you before. Now I'm not going to block that because that's come up in a list, and it could be something somebody wants to look at, like a playlist of whatever for music, so that's fine. You come down here and it says for fans of LV. What the hell's an LV? Perhaps that is a particular person, particular artist. It could be fans of a version of music. And honestly, I don't know what it is and I don't care for it. I'm going to block it. Now, if you look at this, it's pretty much exactly the same as what I did for the right hand side of the YouTube video. YouTube shelf renderer, item section renderer, style scope, blah blah blah. In other words, you've got an entire class, and then has div dismissible again, but has the title here of for fans for LV, and thus getting rid of the entire thing. And then you got popular songs. Now, again, it's just depends on what you want. Like, I'm gonna get rid of popular songs because if I'm looking for something like music or whatever, Bach or something, then it goes popular songs. It could say Bach, it could say Justin Bieber, it could say Ed Sheeran. It's the idea of, yeah, I don't want popular songs in here, do I? Personally, I can choose popular songs if I want by going music filter, today, this year, relevancy, and you can also do by upload count by view count. So how popular is it? You can tell it by view count or rating. So there's no real need to have most popular songs there. So ergo, I can block it most popular. Fundraiser. There's another one that comes up that's not fundraiser, and I'll tell you about it after I've blocked popular songs. You know what? I'll cheat. I'll do exactly the same as what I did before, but I'll put popular songs in. So I'm going to go back to the Ublock filter lists. I'm just going to put popular songs in there after copying the filter in there, and I should be fine. I just put in there popular songs, title contains, and let's go back. Yeah, I pretty much just redid the exact same thing, clicked the button, and it worked fine. It's because of the updating, the way it's done in uBlock. Again, searches related to music. I've done a search for music. Searches related to music. You can have relaxing music, sleeping music, blah 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 blah. But why wouldn't you just do exactly the same thing as what it says down there under results search query, rain music? Why wouldn't you be searching for rain music as it is? These are good suggestions, but it gets to the point where these aren't suggestions anymore. They're probably people trying to sell you stuff, and if you like the extra features, go for it, but I don't. Okay, we've come across a conundrum. Searches related to is under one particular string and music is under another. So you can be specific and go formatted string and add the span class formatted string and do searches related to, and you can't do another one that says music underneath it, but you can do formatted string if it contains searches related to and then contains again music. Now you could just ignore music and then anything that comes up with searches related to, so ergo the way I want it, and that will block anything. But for anyone who wants searches related to and music, you can do that specifically, so it is blocked for music or not blocked for this or that. Let me show you. Okay, I got lazy. I found out that header exists and header contains both of the actual things, so you can put searches related to music as a whole, or you can just get rid of the music and it'll work as well. But it'll work only if searches related to and music exists. So this one here will do both of them together. It'll pick the general style scope, which is the entire thing, wherever we are, way back here. Way back. There's the header that contains both of them, header container, and then horizontal card list renderer, which again you can block on that instead as well. So your YouTube horizontal card list renderer, and then it has a div called header that contains searches related to. But there we go, that one there will work for searches related to, which will be generic to anything, which is what I'm after. If anyone wants music, they can just add this particular, change that particular string, and they can duplicate it if they want for something else and whatever else. Is movies. If I search for a movie, and I don't search for movies all the time, like YouTube movies. Fair enough, you can buy and rent them. I don't want to buy or rent any fucking movies anywhere. I can find them anywhere on the internet I want. Point is, I hate anything that's based on buying stuff through YouTube or whatever. I'm going to block it, and I'm going to show you what the filter is, depending on what the filter should be based on. Now, I could block it on YouTube movies, but that's just one channel out of heaps and heaps of channels that will have buy or rent in them. So I'm basically going to block it based on an individual section that has buy or rent in it. I want it to block the entire container. So basically what I've done is I've done the YouTube shelf renderer, YouTube item selection renderer that has the YouTube movie renderer, YouTube horizontal list renderer style home that has a spam that contains YouTube supported badge renderer scope that contains buy or rent. So if I'm going to get rid of a buy or rent, it'll disappear. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a very specific one. If any part of this changes, then it'll break. Yeah. Okay. Buy or rent. See, learn while you're at home. What's that got to do with buy or rent? This is why I don't like things that are like this. Like, buy or rent has nothing to do with this. Okay, simple one again. Selected dismissible in shelf renderer, and then has title contains learn while you're at home. Another one related to your search. Well, if anything was related to my search, it would have buy or rent. Buy a home, rent, buying a house, things that will make you wealthy. Dave Ramsey rant. Got nothing to do with rent. Anyway, that's not really related to my search, and anything that was related to my search, you can actually search properly for what you're after with filters and that. Again, dismissible has title contains related to your search. If you can tell, it sort of repeats itself over and over. Another one, for you. And yeah, I've already gotten rid of the for you one. It's exactly the same filter. Notice I went buy or rent movie specifically, and as you can see, buy or rent. Yeah. YouTube movie renderer. We can just do the following and just block every single movie renderer that comes up. It's a lot easier than blocking based on a tag that says buy or rent, but not really necessary. We've almost got rid of every single annoyance except for a couple. Okay, now we get rid of the buy rent one, which is pretty much exactly the same as before, but this time I'll show you. Buy or rent, we go from here to here because that's what we want in the buy or rent. Delete everything, paste that. That's one of the annoying parts. Ublocker. Because buy or rents. No, I've got to put a capital in there, do I? No. Yeah, well, back up. Contains buy or rent. Well, that's very interesting. Why it's not? Oh, that's why it's not working. So I got rid of that because I didn't need it. That shows us that that's working. Okay, we'll cut that. And quite easy, we've gone buy or rent. That's the badge that we selected and we put buy or rent in there. Now we're looking. Ah, that's what we're after. We don't want to go that far. See, that one there we could just go compact movie renderer. But, yeah. I find that it's a lot easier to go, well, what's the point of putting that in there? It could change all the time, but buy or rent doesn't change. So we'll go back to, not compact movie renderer, but the dismissible. And we put has that, and because the has is in there, that'll kill anything with buy or rent. That, I think, is about all that you need to do to clean up YouTube. No, I forgot one. See the full screen here? See this little grayed out bit? That's for the title. It's called a gradient, and it's not needed when you haven't got the title there. So, gradient top. There we go. When it selects it, see that? See how big it is and how wide it goes on to? Look at that. And then we want to copy. See, it says selected because it should be only one selector that's there. Just make sure, yeah, that's the right one. And I don't even know if I could do it based on just that. Probably not, no. But, I can gradient top, see how it lets me grade it. Then you get back in here and there's no grayed out bit there. It is down the bottom there, and you can get rid of that too. That's exactly the same thing, but I don't bother because you got that stuff down there anyway, and sometimes if it's clear, it's not as easy to see white on white when there's not a gradient there. But you can do it, it's same thing. Gradient bottom. But as I said, look at that. If you got white there, which a lot of things do, it might look good to you. But there you go, you've only got that there instead. It does look, at least you can show people and say, look, I've got a cool looking YouTube. And it works fine on black. And again, without the gradient, you can't really see the bar. Okay, I just looked up King Human, and we've got latest from King Human, which means latest videos, which if you want, you can keep latest videos on. It's all your choice, etc, etc, but no thank you. Sorry. Has title contains blah 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 blah. Has hash. There we go, another one. Let's playlists. That's it for streamlining YouTube with Ublock element hiding. There are YouTube add-ons that can help. I like to use Enhancer for YouTube. I also like to use Ultra Widify. Helps for getting rid of the black bars top and bottom of YouTube if you don't want to use VLC to watch YouTube videos like I do. Well, thank you for getting this far in the video. I'm sure I'm and ahhing like I did, and cutting everything was a little bit annoying, but there is so much junk in YouTube that can stop you from watching one thing and then going on to doing whatever you were meant to do, like your homework or work in general. So doing this will stop you from wasting a lot of time. Enjoy your day, and I will catch you next time.